Good morning, folks. How you doing? Good to see ya. Oh boy. New day, new Wednesday. What a lovely day. I'm pumped for it. Whew, it's good to be back. Y'all, the coffee is hot. The books have openings, and we are going to read them and talk about them, and any other questions you might have. But for now, let's dive into some books, huh? Always a fun stream. Mayor Bear, good to see you. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Raffy, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Guys, how you doing? Melissa Lee, everybody's popping in now. Happy Wednesday, folks. Happy Wednesday. How you doing? How's the week been? What's the first half of your week been like? Jack Ann, good to see you as well. Welcome in. Mayor Bear, you said, did the uglies get done? I think it didn't get rolled last time. Let me pull it up because I think I've read it before. Maybe it's just it hasn't been a... Yeah. Oh, I don't think that's... Is that it? That's a different cover. I guess that's the audiobook. Yeah, y'all can't see it. I remember this one though, Mayor Bear. We did it like 2 or 3 streams ago, so it is up for nomination again. It can now be nominated once more. 4-6, what's up? Good to see you. So we're not gonna roll today, y'all. I made an executive decision last stream, and what we're doing now is I'm just gonna take your just like it used to be, where I'm just gonna take your titles, and we're just gonna pick one and we're gonna read it, and then we'll pick another one and read that. It seems like the rolling was fun, but people just really weren't getting their books off the roll. So I'm just gonna do my best to try to pick them as we go through. Slendy, good morning. Good to see you. So yeah, with that in mind, folks, go ahead and drop titles. Bullet Train from Raffy. It looks like Raffy. Who wrote that? I've not heard of that. Mayor Bear, I know you're looking for the uglies, right? Which we have done before, but can do again. All right, Raffy. Maybe that's enough. We'll put those words in there and see what we get, huh? Slendy, thank you for the Heart Me, and Melissa Lee for the Heart Me and the Popular Vote Award. You guys are so consistent. It's amazing. Thank you very much. You know the drill. Goblins for gifts. Right out there to you. Thank you very much, y'all. I appreciate you. Okay, more titles. All right, right into it, huh? The Train by Diane Ho, and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. You're good, Slendy. You're good, man. Read as much as you want. No obligation to do it more, obviously. Kotaro Isaka is the author of Bullet Train. All right. Period as a username, or it's not even a period. It's like a dot of some sort. I have been to Canada, indeed. Melissa says not a Stephen King book today. Love it. Yeah, and Ender's Game's good. Well, I can't speak to the series, but I can speak to the book. I do like the book. All right, so let's pop over here to the view you're more familiar with. Jack Ann and Mayor Bear, thank you for your gifts. And Phoenix, how did I miss that? Y'all, thank you very much. I swear, I'm actively in the market for a bigger gift. So when y'all give, sorry, just removing a not nice message on YouTube. Hold one moment. There we go. I'm actively searching for a larger gift, so when y'all give gifts like that, I can give you more than just the little goblins. But Phoenix, for you, my friend. Jack Ann, for you. And Melissa, oh no, sorry, Mayor Bear. Mayor Bear pulling in all 3 right now. And then Melissa getting 1 extra on the way out. Y'all, goblins everywhere. Thank you very much, y'all. So, let's get to the books. Let's get right to it. Nothing else to wait on, huh? Your local pansexual, actually. Hello, hello. Welcome back in. Good to see you again. How you been? All right. Alrighty, ready. Let's start. Hey, first one I saw today was Bullet Train by Kotaro Isaka. Oh, you know what? I think that will... I want to make sure y'all can see the... Oh, Raffi, this is a novel for the movie. Or was the movie based on the novel, I suppose? Dracula, you said This Woven Kingdom. Alright, cool, cool, cool. Added to the list. The movie's based on the novel. Okay, sick, 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 sick. Why is it giving me audiobook results for everything? There we go. It's like an audiobook sale or something going on. I just want to see my paperbacks, my Kindle editions. Alright, so we'll pull up the cover here, and let's get our sample going. Alright, so I don't know why that's, like, not centered. There we go. If I do that, it's centered. Okay, rock and roll. We're there, folks. Raffi said the movie is based on the novel. Okay, I always love when it's that way. That's the better way, in my opinion. Sick cover. Interesting. Is it a ladybug? I can't really tell. On the middle of the bullseye. Oh, it was your birthday yesterday, local. Hey, congrats! Happy belated birthday. I hope it was a good one. Do anything special? What was your celebration? Raffi, you say it's a ladybug? Okay. Well, it's a cool cover. It looks like it's a post-movie cover too, but it's not one of the ones with all the actors on it, so I'm a fan of that. Alright, well, let's dive right into it. Tokyo Station is packed. It's been a while since Yuichi Kimura was here last, so he isn't sure if it's always this crowded. He'd believe it if someone told him there was a special event going on. The throngs of people coming and going press in on him, reminding him of a TV show he and Wataru had watched together, the one about penguins all jammed in tight together. That's a fair image. That's a fair image. At least the penguins have an excuse, thinks Kimura. It's freezing where they live. He waits for an opening in the stream of people, cuts between the souvenir shops and kiosks, quickening his pace. Up a short flight of stairs to the turnstile for the Shinkansen high-speed bullet train. As he passes through the automated ticketing gate, he tenses, wondering if it will somehow detect the handgun in his coat pocket. Slams shut while security swarms around him, but nothing happens. He slows and looks up at the monitor, checking the platform for his train, the Hayate. There's a uniformed police officer standing guard, but the cop doesn't seem to be paying him any attention. Okay, interesting opening. I'll talk about that in a second. I have some thoughts about it. I wanted to read, local, you said you went to a restaurant, and when they sang happy birthday, and they gave you a sweet thing. Okay, nice. Hey, rock on. I'm glad you celebrated. I hope it was everything you wanted. Raffi, you said the top of each chapter shows you which part of the train it's taking place in. Oh, that's kind of cool. I was kind of wondering what this was. That's a cool little idea. I like it. Okay, so y'all, I think if you've been tuning in for a while, you're gonna know what I'm saying, what I'm thinking about for this opening. I think it's fine. It's got some good visuals in the beginning, but I really like this line. As he passes through the automated ticketing gate, he tenses, wondering if it will somehow detect the handgun in his coat pocket, slams shut while security swarms around him, but nothing happens. I think that's a darn good first or maybe second sentence for the whole book. That would catch my attention a lot faster. Not that this did a bad job of it. The visual of the penguins is very accurate. I think of them all packed in together. But that sentence really stood out to me. So personally, I would love to see it kick off with something like that. Get your attention right away. But no, it's solid. It's setting up things well. I feel like if I had read the back of the book, I might be a bit more prepared for what's going on here. But it certainly set the tone for the station well. And for what's going on there. I'd be interested to see what happens next. Phoenix, I should do The Far Wild by Alex Knight. Oh, we can throw it on there. Yo, my computer's like lagging. What's going on here? There we go. Every time I click into something, it's like taking a full second. Alright, looks like it's good now. It was just having a fit. You know, we all have slow mornings. We can all have slow mornings once in a while. Derek Bourne, sci-fi author, my friend. Good to see you. How you doing, buddy? Alright. Email never works. You said good morning. I listened to Wriggly Little Hands last Monday and it was very enjoyable. Well, thank you, my friend. Please do leave a review on Amazon or Audible if you don't mind. Really helps me. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. Thank you. Thank you for listening through it, and I'm glad you liked it. That was an instant delivery, dude. You picked it up on Monday, you finished it on Monday. Pretty much just one work day, huh? Rock on. Derek, we're doing good, buddy. We're doing our opening line stream, so we are taking viewer suggestions for books, and we are reading their opening lines and then dissecting them from an author's point of view. Melissa Lee, for the samples, you got to go to the paperback or the Kindle edition of the book, and then underneath the cover image, there should be a read sample button, and if you click that, it should bring you into this sample. That's how it works on desktop. I don't know about other browser forms, mobile or whatnot. Local, hey, have a great day. Happy birthday again. Celebrate all through the week. Why not, huh? All right. Michael, welcome in, my guy. Good morning. You just started book 2 of the Paragon series. Hey, rock on. I hope you like it. Book two really elevates the stakes on it, man. It gets pretty wild in there. I hope you enjoy. I'll hurry up and get book 5 finished. Really, it's just waiting on me. Luke's done his part at this point. This is just on me. Judas. Yes, Kotaro Isaka. I want to make sure Kotaro Isaka mentioned that. You can thank Raffi for that. He suggested it as our first book of the day, so we read it. So let's go on to the next one. I'm gonna grab. Let's see. We got a couple on the list here. This Woven Kingdom is really standing out to me as a title. So let's see what's going on with that, huh? Why does it keep prioritizing audiobooks? There's something going on with that? My search settings? I swear I was into just the books department. Let's go back real quick. We're going to go to books. There we go. All right. There we go. Thank you. Now you're operating normally, Amazon. All right. Raffi, you said it was a really funny book, Bullet Train. I love funny books, man. That's my weakness. All right, here we go, guys. Hey, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Follows. Welcome in, guys. Homebrew Dragon. Once a Killer is something you really love. All right, hey, I'll throw it on here. Once a Killer. Melissa, you said you won't find a sample for the train, unfortunately. I must have missed what the first message was. Dracula, yes, you were the one who recommended this Woven Kingdom. So let's give it a look. By Tehere Mafi, I think. It's cool cover art. I'm a fan of that. Interesting, banner on the side of the book. This is agonizing romance, addictive, heart-wrenching, sumptuous. Interesting descriptive words there, huh? Well, let's give it a read. Let's see what's going on. Oh, that's cool. Love the font and the detailing around this. Very cool. It's a cool name too. I don't know what to make of it, but it's cool. I can say that. All right, chapter 1. Alize, stitched in the kitchen by the light of star and fire, sitting, as she often did, curled up inside the hearth. Soot stained her skin and skirts in haphazard streaks, smudges along the crest of a cheek, a dusting of yet more darkness above one eye. She didn't seem to notice. Alize was cold. No, she was freezing. She often wished she were a body with hinges, that she might throw open a door in her chest and fill its cavity with coal, then kerosene, strike a match. Alas. She tugged up her skirts and shifted nearer the fire, careful lest she destroy the garment she still owed the illegitimate daughter of the Lo Jan ambassador. The intricate, glittering piece was her only order this month, but Alizé nursed a secret hope that the gown would conjure clients on its own, for such fashionable commissions were, after all, the direct result of an envy born only in a ballroom, around a dinner table. Yo, that's very real right there, right? I can really relate to that. Where was it? She nursed a secret hope the gown would conjure clients on its own. You know how many books I've been like, all right, I don't really have a marketing plan for this one, but like, it's a good book. It's gonna find its readers, right? Just like it's gonna do it on its own. That's the thing. That's the hope, at least. I don't think it ever really works out that way. At least it hasn't yet. All right, where were we? So long as the kingdom remained at peace, the royal elite, legitimate and illegitimate alike, would continue to host parties and incur debt, which meant Alizé might yet find ways to extract coin from their embroidered pockets. Oh, that's a good line. Love that. Dracula, you said love it first line for this one. This is an interesting one. I am digesting what I think of it. Really good descriptions. I love the idea of where was it? She often wished she were a body with hinges, that she might throw open a door in her chest and fill its cavity with coal, then kerosene, strike a match. That's pretty sick. It's a good description. Also, I guess it is pretty dramatic by saying she stitched in the kitchen by light of star and fire. Interesting. So it's a little bit of a slower opening, but pretty description throughout, and it's building the world up nicely. So I've been enjoying that so far. Let's read a little bit more, I suppose. Scrolled right as I meant to read. She shivered violently then, nearly missing a stitch, nearly toppling into the fire. As a toddling child, Eliza had once been so desperately cold she'd crawled onto the searing hearth on purpose. Of course, it had never occurred to her that she might be consumed by the blaze. She'd been but a baby, following an instinct to sink warmth. Alizé couldn't have known then the singularity of her affliction, for so rare was the frost that grew inside her body that she stood in stark relief even among her own people, who were thought to be strange indeed. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now we're kind of getting to the plot a little bit here, or at least the hook. Cassian, welcome in. You absolutely may suggest one. Please do. And we'll try to get through them all. Guys, it took a little bit, took a couple paragraphs, but we got to it. So there's something going on with her. They're kind of seeding that, like, she's really cold, she's sitting right next to the fire, but there's something different going on, an affliction. Frost that grows inside her. So now you're getting me hooked to those questions, right? But interesting. So it's not a snappy right off the bat, like, hook your attention immediately. But it's got some nice descriptions. It's got some interesting kind of slow building, description and background information, kind of world building, which is a good way to, I think it's kind of informing you what kind of book to expect. I think this is going to be a slow down, take your time, kind of breathes with you kind of book, which is not a bad thing. So I think someone asked pub date. Let's see. December 27th, 2022. So it's a relatively recent one. But yeah, no, thank you for suggesting it. I think from reading this, I'm getting a rich, big sort of story vibe from it. I think this is going to go places. Let's see the description. To all the world, Alizé is a disposable servant, not the long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom forced to hide in plain sight. Okay, so that might give some answers about the whole thing with the frost inside. The crown prince Camran has heard the prophecies foretelling the death of his king, but he could never have imagined that the servant girl with the strange eyes, the girl he can't put out of his mind, would one day soon uproot his kingdom and the world. Okay, a bit of a general description there, but gave us a little bit of information from what we read. So I'm getting, probably some romance vibes, with like kind of, I'm feeling like epic fantasy, maybe a Middle Eastern inspired world. Kind of puts me in the mind of like, what is Chakraborty's book? It's like something of copper. No, I definitely didn't do it. I can't remember at the moment. But another book I read that was like that. Thank you for suggesting that. Who was that? I think that was Dracula suggested that one, right? Thank you, my friend. Cassian, or Casson, you let me know. You said, it just scrolled away, my favorite books are Divergent and Good Omens. All right, well, we're going to pick Divergent. for this one because we haven't actually done Good Omens, but I'm boycotting reading Divergent or Good Omens on stream based on boy, I can't think today. Not Terry Pratchett, the other author. I'm blanking on it, y'all. I know that everybody in chat's like screaming the name right now. Neil Gaiman, based on Neil Gaiman's recent problems. Keyshawn? So is it Keyshawn, I think? I'll try to remember that. Thank you. All right. Good morning, Titan Terra. Good to see you. Welcome in. How you doing? How you been? How's the algorithm going? How are these changes they're doing? Working well, I hope. Homebrew Dragon, you recommended already, but when you do get to Once a Killer, I think you'll really like it. Yes, okay, cool. I got that on the list here. Rock on. Thank you for recommending that, Homebrew. Livia C on YouTube says, what's my favorite book? That's a tough one. It's between Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton and maybe Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, probably. It's somewhere in those books. I got a very varied interest there. But y'all, how about next book? There you go, Andrew. Always have a towel. Also, good morning, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, buddy. All right. Hey, Mayor Bear, thank you for the gifts. You are too kind, my friend, and you know how it goes. Gift for a gift, or goblins for a gift. Those are for you. I think that's multiple for you today. Thank you very much. You are too kind. All right, next book. Let's grab... this one's catching my attention. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Who suggested this one? I know it was right off the bat, one of the first suggestions that came in today. Holy cow, that's a lot of reviews. Casual 112,000 reviews on this one. My goodness. Phoenix, the book recommendation page looks like yours? I guess yeah, this all tracks actually. Those are pretty spot on recommendations. All right, let's get this cover up in here. John, you said Stolen Tongues. Who's that by? I'll add it to the list. Thank you for putting it there, for recommending it. All right, so V.E. Schwab, y'all. I imagine all of us know V.E. Schwab. She's very prolific. Her books are very popular. Let's see, we got another one. This Email Never Works says Firestorm by David Class. All right, we're throwing it on the list. All right, as I was trying to say, you know V.E. Schwab, I assume. She's very popular, very prolific. Writes a lot of books that have done very well. So let's read this one. I don't think I've ever read a V.E. Schwab book, though. Not like just in my own time. I think I've read them on stream before. At least the opening. Derek, you said Smoke and Other Storms. Other Storms by J.L. De La Vega. De La Vega? Keyshawn, how many books are on the list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 at present. I think it's pretty good. It's a good amount. Not too many. We can actually get through those. But we got one right now. We got a V.E. Schwab book. Uh-oh, it's a small font, y'all. It's a small font. My eyes are cringing already. I really got to figure out a solution to this. But for now, we lean forward and we squint. So bear with me. New York City, March 10th, 2014. The girl wakes up in someone else's bed. She lies there, perfectly still, tries to hold time like a breath in her chest, as if she can keep the clock from ticking forward, keep the boy beside her from waking, keep the memory of their night alive through sheer force of will. Y'all, we've all been there, right? We've all been there. I mean, maybe not necessarily from waking up next to someone, but at least waking up from a dream that you enjoyed and you don't want it to slip away, but you know it's going to. That seems very, very realistic. She knows, of course, that she can't. Knows that he'll forget. They always do. It isn't his fault. It is never their faults. The boy is still asleep, and she watches the slow rise and fall of his shoulders, the place where his dark hair curls against the nape of his neck, the scar along his ribs. Details long memorized. His name is Toby. Last night, she told him hers was Jess. She lied, but only because she can't say her real name, one of the vicious little details tucked like nettles in the grass. Hidden barbs designed to sting. What is a person if not the marks they leave behind? She has learned to step between the thorny weeds, but there are some cuts that cannot be avoided. A memory, a photograph, a name. In the last month she has been Claire, Zoe, Michelle, but 2 nights ago when she was Elle, and they were closing down a late-night cafe after one of his gigs, Toby said that he was in love with a girl named Jess. He simply hadn't met her yet. So now, she is Jess. Alright, this is such a V.E. Schwab opening. It's a very distinctive style, right? Which is nothing wrong with that, y'all. I always say, your voice is... Sorry, just writing down another book. I see a scanner darkly. Jake Hartman. Added to the list, my friend. Your creative voice is the most distinctive and unique thing that you can have as an author, and V.E. Schwab knows where hers is, and she dials into it every time. Keyshawn, I got you, buddy. But she's dialed right into it. This is just like, I don't even know what to call it. It's such a distinct style of hers. Just like this, I guess we call it the second paragraph, but it's really only preceded by one sentence, so technically it is the second paragraph. She lies there, perfectly still, tries to hold time like a breath in her chest, as if she can keep the clock from ticking forward, keep the boy beside her from waking, keep the memory of their night alive through sheer force of will. That's a very V.E. Schwab-coded paragraph. So, hey, y'all, I say stick to your style, find your voice, and rock with it. That's exactly what she's doing here. And also, it's seeded in with plot hooks. This whole idea, she's kind of talking around a idea here, like a plot point of people can't remember her name for some reason. I feel like it's going to turn into like people can't remember her or something to that effect. But it's done the most important thing. It has made me ask a question, and I want an answer to it, so I'm going to want to read on to know more. So yeah, all right. Very V.E. Schwab, but, you know, says V.E. Schwab on the cover, so that's what you signed up for, right? Thank you for recommending it. Oh, and I guess, you know, the title is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, so more reason to expect exactly what we read. Rock on. All right, let's do Divergent, y'all. Keyshawn's got to run, wants to see it before they leave, but also, this is a book that I read a long time ago. And I feel like I don't remember anything from it. So this will be an interesting experiment, because I know this is a pretty divisive book at times. The movies were not well loved. The books I know were well received when they came out, and then it seemed like the shine kind of wore off for some folks. I haven't really reassessed them since reading them. I dig this cover. 10th anniversary edition. So it'll be interesting to go back to it, huh? You like the train cover, Phoenix? I do too. It's pretty cool. Also, from my distant memory of this book, I see, you know, things that stand out. I remember the Ferris wheel being relevant, the rooftop jumping onto the train. Like, I remember some of these things. It's just been many years. All right, come on now. Get past the praise. Let's get to the text. There we go. And a different cover here. This is a very movie cover, I think. Because it's not the cover I remember it having. But it was a long time ago. Lavender Gooms, you said it was the last book. No one wants an ending like that. I don't think I made it that far. I think I got, like, spoiled on the ending ahead of time, and I was like, oh no. But hey, props to the author for trying something, right? MSM Tina, welcome back. Good to see you. We're just diving into the opening line of Divergent. So let's read it. There is one mirror in my home. It is behind a sliding panel in the hallway upstairs. Our faction allows me to stand in front of it on the second day of every third month, the day my mother cuts my hair. I sit on the stool and my mother stands behind me with the scissors, trimming. The strands fall on the floor in a dull blonde ring. When she finishes, she pulls my hair away from my face and twists it into a knot. I note how calm she looks and how focused she is. She is well practiced in the art of losing herself. I can't say the same of myself. I sneak a look at my reflection when she isn't paying attention, not for the sake of vanity, but out of curiosity. A lot can happen to a person's appearance in 3 months. In my reflection, I see a narrow face, wide, round eyes, and a long, thin nose. I still look like a little girl, though sometime in the last few months I turned 16. The other factions celebrate birthdays, but we don't. It would be self-indulgent. All right, opening lines there. Yeah, I think that's a good amount there. This is very dystopian YA, coded just right off the bat. Dystopian YA books are almost always first-person perspective and very simplistic in the language, speaking directly to the reader. Don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with that. It cuts right through the nonsense and speaks directly to the reader. And let's see, analyzing these lines themselves immediately starts with world building, right? If you knew nothing about this world, you've already learned several things about it right off the bat. Keyshawn, no, you're good, man. Be excited. Be excited about it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I like it gives you this answer a little bit further in. The other factions celebrate birthdays, but we don't. It would be self-indulgent. But it hinted at that several times before, and I liked it. Of like, you're only allowed to use the mirror, for a haircut, and you're not even like encouraged to like indulge seeing what your reflection looks like. There were like two little subtle flags in the text up there that kind of hint towards that, and then they come out and say it with like the it would be self-indulgent to do that. So again, you're learning world building a little bit subtly there, and I like that. It's kind of filling you in about the world. And I think we stopped too early, but the plot comes up in the next paragraph. There, she says when she pins the knot in place. Her eyes catch mine in the mirror. It is too late to look away, but instead of scolding me, she smiles at our reflection. I frown a little. Why doesn't she reprimand me for staring at myself? Okay, so this is interesting. I really like that her mother catches her looking at her reflection and then smiles instead of scolding. I really like that because that like gives you an idea of her mother's personality, perhaps going against their faction a little bit. Really a subtle little sneak in there. And then I don't like that it says, why doesn't she reprimand me for staring at myself? That to me personally reads as someone who wasn't confident that the message was going to get across. And I recognize this as an issue that I used to have and I'm trying to get better about, where like you delivered it successfully. You said it's too late to look away, but instead of scolding me, she smiles at a reflection. That instantly triggered in my head of like, oh, her mom's a little bit different. She might not follow the rules of the faction. But then calling it out again with, why doesn't she reprimand me for staring at myself? It's a little bit, right up front, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But we could have been a bit more subtle with it. It's still fine. YA dystopian is very rarely subtle. Yep, full agreed, homebrew. It's a little less subtle. But yeah, okay. This is bringing back memories. It is dusting off some deep memories going back to this. By the way, Tide and Terra, thank you very much for the 50 roses. You're too kind. Far too kind, but thank you. I don't have 50 goblins to give you in return, but I can do 3. 3 is my max at once, so 3 goblins for you. Harpy, thank you for the heart me. Phoenix for the tiny diny. Goblins for y'all as well. Whew. Thank you very much, y'all. Keyshawn, you said I'm a writer. I am. In fact, I write full-time for a living. These are my books. They're all on the links in my bio, but this is my newest one, and the one I would point you towards. It's very silly. Links are in my bio. Please do give it a look if you want. It's on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, Audible with an audiobook, paperbacks, any format you want. It's there. But this isn't really about my books today. We're talking about your books that you want me to read. We're doing a good job getting through this list. We'll do a little self-indulgent here. Oh, real quick. Rio and Archie on YouTube said, "Can you do Misery by Stephen King?" Sure, we can do it. Another Stephen King book. We've had a lot of those lately, and I don't think we've loved his openings too much. At least I haven't. But I don't know. Man sells a lot of books. All right. Someone recommended this earlier, and I like to do at least one per stream, so we'll pull up one of my books here. I think was it Phoenix? Phoenix, did you say Do the Far Wild? Um, let's pull it up. This is a fun one to read. You can almost act out the opening on this one. So, yes, being self-indulgent, y'all. This is one of my books. Phoenix, it was you that recommended it. Well, thank you. You're too kind. Got our cover there. Sold a few copies of this at the book fair this past weekend. And hey, let's do our opening lines. I won't analyze this one so much because I wrote it, so I know what what it's all about. But I'll at least tell you what I was going for with it. Anyway, Chapter 1, Senecio. People say the far wild is where you go to die. You'll drown on the voyage there. You'll waste away from the bleeding fever. You'll get eaten by some monstrous beast. But what else can you expect from the masses? Their ambition stops with what's for supper. The far wilds where you go to die? Ha! The far wilds where I came to live. I don't want much, just wealth beyond measure, fame beyond reason, and maybe a small kingdom somewhere warm. And as the quickest blade this side of the empire, with a devilish charm and the looks to match, I might add, it's only a matter of time before the masses are singing songs of my glory, singing songs of Senecio, Suleiman, Nicolau. But I've never been one for waiting, so of course I'd hired a biographer. A gentleman adventurer like myself requires someone to record his adventures, someone skilled in wordplay, someone studied in the works of the great historians, and someone who, on occasion, makes for excellent bait. So, thank you, Keyshawn. That's very kind of you to say. Very much what I'm going for here is I want you to know the character. We're doing a little bit of world building, and a little bit of character building, because I'm trying to sell you on the character. Our main character is quite the egotist, one of 3 main characters in this book. I like to describe him as the Empire's most beloved adventurer, or perhaps its most successful con man. Leave it up to you to decide. But yeah, sets up the setting with these rumors of like, oh, you'll die if you go there, you'll drown getting there, or you'll get sick, or some monstrous beast will eat you. Why would you ever go there? And the main character's like, yeah, that's where I went to make a name for myself. So yeah, that's what we're doing in the opening lines with that one. Let's get back to a book that y'all recommended. It was a pleasure having you today, Keyshawn. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for stopping by. Glad we got Divergent before you left. All right, y'all, let's grab another one off this list. What are we getting here? Melissa, I think you were saying The Train by Diane Coe doesn't have a sample on Amazon. I'm going to see, or did I say Coe? Diane Ho, I think. All right, well, here's the book. Oh, that's not at all. What am I doing, Alex? Okay, yeah, you said it's not on Amazon, so it's clearly not, or at least it's not coming up. Oh, well, oh, yeah, okay, so it's a bit older, perhaps. Might not be, maybe we didn't have a Kindle Unlimited or an ebook edition. It's a cool-looking cover, though. Shame we can't read a sample, but it's giving me, like, classic R.L. Stine Goosebumps vibes, right? I dig it. I wish I could grab a copy of it. A one-way ticket to terror. Raffi, you said Senecio is Zaphod Beeblebrox in pirate cosplay? Very accurate, my friend. That's a very good description there. Yeah, pretty accurate. Although, gets a little bit more done than Zaphod does. Zaphod feels a little bit more bluster, a little less action. All right. Phoenix, you said the cover is 100% Goosebumps. It was, right? It gave me a good feeling, though, like seeing the old Goosebumps vibes again. But all right, let's pick a new one. Tide and Terror, we'll add that to the list. You said The Face on the Milk Carton. Caroline B. Cooney. All right, but we just added that to the list, so let's pick something that's been on here a moment. Jake Hartman, you said A Scanner Darkly. Let's grab that one. I remember seeing I remember seeing advertisements for the movie when it came out, but I didn't know like it was a book before that, and I never interacted with it in any form, so I knew nothing about it. Wow, it's a Philip K. Dick story. All right. Yes, that's probably a pretty successful book, huh? Bro, what is this cover? What is this cover, y'all? Is this actually the cover, or is this like a reprint version? I guess that's the cover. Okay, here's a different cover. Alright, well, I guess we got a different cover on this one that's got a little more going on. This is just like such a non-cover. No shade. No shade, Philip, but at least this one's got something going on here. It's obviously an older story. But we're going to keep that cover up because I like that one better. And we're going to read the opening lines. I didn't realize this story was like a classic, you know? Andrew, did you recommend a book on this list? Did I stick one there for you? Alright. A Scanner Darkly. I know nothing about it. Chapter 1. Once a guy stood all day shaking bugs from his hair. That's an opening line. That immediately, I have no idea where we're going from there. Once a guy stood all day shaking bugs from his hair. The doctor told him there were no bugs in his hair. After he had taken a shower for 8 hours, standing under hot water hour after hour, suffering the pain of the bugs, he got out and dried himself, and he still had bugs in his hair. In fact, he had bugs all over him. A month later, he had bugs in his lungs. Having nothing else to do or think about, he began to work out theoretically the life cycle of the bugs, and, with the aid of the Britannica, try to determine specifically which bugs they were. They now filled his house. He read about many different kinds, and finally noticed bugs outdoors, so he concluded they were aphids. After that decision came to his mind, it never changed, no matter what other people told him, like, aphids don't bite people. They said that to him because the endless biting of the bugs kept him in torment. At the 7-Eleven grocery store, part of a chain spread out over most of California, he bought spray cans of Raid, and Black Flag, and Yard Guard. First he sprayed the house, then himself. The Yard Guard seemed to work the best. As to the theoretical side, he perceived 3 stages in the cycle of the bugs. First, they were carried to him to contaminate him by what he called carrier people, which were people who didn't understand their role in distributing the bugs. During that stage, the bugs had no jaws or mandibles. He learned that word during his weeks of scholarly research, an unusually bookish occupation for a guy who worked at the handy brake and tire place, realigning people's brake drums. The carrier people, therefore, felt nothing. He used to sit in the far corner of his living room watching different carrier people enter. Most of them people he'd known for a while, but some new to him, covered with aphids in this particular non-biting stage. He'd sort of smile to himself because he knew that the person was being used by the bugs and wasn't hip to it. Bro, this opening, oh boy, I am very deeply uncomfortable thinking about all of this. I do not like existing in this headspace. Ugh, how gross. I guess I can't have bugs in my hair, huh? Philip K. Dick, what are we doing here, man? This really tracks specifically with what I'd seen from the marketing for this. Hey, shout out Tide and Tara and Rafi for finding the stickers I uploaded. I was just playing around in the back end. We found some of my Discord stickers you can now use. That's fun. Okay, this is a heck of an opening, y'all. I don't love it. Not that it is bad from a literature point of view, from a writing point of view, but it is deeply uncomfortable from an imagination point of view. I don't believe these bugs are real. I believe this guy's got something going on mentally, and it all sounds deeply uncomfortable. But I'll give it out to Philip K. Dick. It drags you right into the story instantly. I mean, the opening line, I had to stop after just reading the opening line. Once a guy stood all day shaking bugs from his hair. That visual alone, it just immediately sets you off kilter, like, what's going on there? And it just keeps building and getting worse and worse and worse. Ugh. Heck of an opening, and I didn't know much about this book, but it tracks with what I had kind of seen from the marketing of, like, this is a bit of a disconcerting, strange book, strange story. That all tracks. I am going to get away from this story and its bugs immediately. Thank you for suggesting that, Jake Hartman. You said it's from the 60s. Rock on. The language was, I can kind of see that. We were starting to get some of the lingo a bit further in. Rio, you've asked for Misery by Stephen King or Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Which one? You let me know which one you want more, and we'll put one of them on there. I got them both recorded, so you let me know and we'll pick one of those two. Andrew, you said you didn't recommend a book specifically, but you did just finish the most recent book of the Drizzt series. Rock on. I heard that's good fun. Again, never read it myself, but I've heard that's very good D&D inspired fantasy fun. I really need to get around to reading those one of these days. Nikki, your favorite book is Song of Achilles. I know that is a beautiful book. We're going to throw that on the list. But we need to pick one off this list. So, what's been on here a long time? I think the two longest on here is The Uglies and Once a Killer. So let's see. We'll do The Uglies. That was, I think, the second book I saw mentioned today. Is it? Uglies is 1G. Why do I think it's 2? Thinking of the boots. Alright, I know we've done Uglies before on here, but it's been a couple streams, and the rule is if it's been a couple streams, the book is eligible to be read again because I want people to see it. I also remember this opening. Wow, that's wonderful cover image there, Amazon. I think I might have messed that up, honestly. Might have clicked on it too soon. Yeah, that was on me. Okay, there we go. There's our cover image. I specifically remember reading this one on stream and it being very interesting, so I'm excited to go over it again. It's a great cover, honestly. I've seen one other cover for this and didn't care for it, so I don't know if this is like obviously it's got the Netflix sticker on it, so was this improved after Netflix got it? Because I really like this cover a lot more. All right, Rio and Archie on YouTube, noted, my friend. We will put Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters on the list. Thank you very much, bud. What's up, Blaze Gaming? Welcome in, dude. Good to see you. Mare Bear, this is the one you suggested, and you just came back in time for it. Let's go. Let's do it. The Uglies by... well, it says Westerfield. Is there a first name in here? There probably is if we go back here. Scott Westerfield. All right. Westerfeld. Back to this one. Let's do it, y'all. Chapter 1, New Pretty Town. Oh, I remember this one. God, I love the prose in this. This one stood out in my head. It's been like 2-3 weeks since we did it, and it's really standing out to me. The early summer sky was the color of cat vomit. What a great opening line right there. Just right off the bat, comes out swinging. The early summer sky was the color of cat vomit. Of course, Tally thought, you'd have to feed your cat only salmon-flavored cat food for a while to get the pinks right. The scudding clouds did look a bit fishy, rippled into scales by a high-altitude wind. As the light faded, deep blue gaps of night peered through like an upside-down ocean, bottomless and cold. I love that, dude. I love that so much. The upside-down ocean. That's just a deeply disconcerting image, but it's really, really nice, too. Any other summer, a sunset like this would have been beautiful, but nothing had been beautiful since Paris turned pretty. Losing your best friend sucks, even if it's only for 3 months and 2 days. Tally Youngblood was waiting for darkness. She could see New Pretty Town through her open window. The party towers were already lit up, and snakes of burning torches marked flickering pathways through the pleasure gardens. A few hot air balloons pulled at the tethers against the darkening pink sky, their passengers shooting safety fireworks at other balloons and passing parasailers. Laughter and music skipped across the water like rocks thrown with just the right spin, their edges just as sharp against Tally's nerves. Around the outskirts of the city, cut off from the town by the black oval of the river, everything was in darkness. Everyone was ugly. Everyone ugly was in bed by now. Note that sentence. Note that sentence. I want to go back to it because I have an authorly insight on that one that I think is interesting. Not important, just fun. Tally took off her interface ring and said, "Good night." "Sweet dreams, Tally," said the room. She chewed up a toothbrush pill, punched her pillows, and shoved an old portable heater, one that produced about as much warmth as a sleeping Tally-sized human being under the covers. Then she crawled out the window. Yeah, very interesting, right? I love it. Also, I don't think... I feel like we didn't get all the way into the technology last time. There's some interesting stuff going on there that I'm not sure. Homebrew, if you want to hang out, we can do yours next. Which one was it? Stolen Tongues? I like to get it before you run. But all right, the line that I wanted to come back to, y'all. Well, first of all, let's start at the top. This is such a good opening line. It just kills me every time. The early summer sky was the color of cat vomit. It's so unexpected. It's like discordant. You read the early summer sky and you expect this beautiful, touching description, and then they just hit you with was the color of cat vomit. It's wonderful. It's a rug pull, and I love it. You get a bit of the character here, seeing Tally's thought process and the way she's perceiving that beautiful, beautiful sky, and then like putting it through the filter of how she sees things. I really like that. It shows good personality. Homebrew, it was once a killer. Okay, I got you. If you hang out for 5 more minutes, we'll get there. But the hook comes with any other summer, a sunset like this would have been beautiful. But nothing had been beautiful since Paris turned pretty. That immediately makes you ask questions. You want to know what's going on with that? Like, hold on, elaborate more. But it doesn't. Not yet, because that's how hooks work. They hook you in, they make you ask a question, you want answers, and they go, we're going to get there, but you got to keep reading. The line that I wanted to call out, y'all, this is so nitty-gritty, but here's a little bit of author insight. What stands out to you in this sentence? Let's see some answers in chat on this. When I read this sentence, I want to see if there's anything specifically with the wording that sticks out to y'all. Around the outskirts of the city, cut off from town by the black oval of the river, everything was in darkness. Around the outskirts of the city, cut off from town by the black oval of the river, everything was in darkness. Not the description, not what it's saying, the specific word, the construction of the sentence. Anything stand out? Because it instantly did to me. I'll take a sip and give you a second to think on it. All right. Word echo. Word echo is something that once you've learned about it, most of the time, most folks I know, it grows in your head and you get very pedantic about it. Word echo is the repetition of words in the same sentence, or paragraph, or section. Yeah, there it is, Jack-Ann, the dreaded word echo. You know what's going on. So it says, around the outskirts of the city, cut off from town by the black oval of the river, everything was in darkness. I bet you when writing this, the author specifically used city and town so as not to repeat the word city more than once in the same sentence. It's just a little thing you run into sometimes where like the correct word is a repetition of a word already used in the sentence, and you have to find a synonym to replace it with. And like, good form would be to just change the sentence such that the word is not repeated, but sometimes it's just the right word to use. And so you sit there and you're like, city, town, village is too small, city's bigger than town, but town's a rough synonym. Like, it gets you down this whole train of thought. And I'm sorry for now afflicting you with the knowledge of word echo. A lot of authors that I know struggle with it because it's very annoying. Ooh, I like that, Rio and Archie on YouTube. You said outskirts would be a good replacement. But outskirts is already used as well in that sentence. See, it gets tricky, right? Word echo is annoying, y'all. I hate it. I started when I learned about it. I was like, oh yeah, definitely don't repeat the same word in the same sentence. That makes sense. And then it kind of progressed, and now I'm like, don't repeat the same word in the same paragraph. That's a ridiculous standard, but it's one I try to stick to. So anyway, there's a little insight into the weird punishment of how authors can think about sentences. But no, Uglies, very interesting. It has good prose. It stands out. It's got a hook right off the bat. It's a good book from what I've read so far. I've not read all the way through it though. Alrighty. Once a Killer, I believe, is what we were looking for next. So let's put that in here. Was there an author, Homebrew? Did you have an author along with it? Jake Hartman, horrible. Word echo is like bugs in your hair. It's the top book? Okay, sick. A Warhammer crime, huh? That's kind of cool. I've never read, like, an anthology from the world of Warhammer. That's pretty sick. Love this cover, y'all. What a cool cover. Ozzy, is Goblin Monday a book? Who's it by? I can add it to the list. Once a Killer by... Who's the author here? Jonathan D. Beer and Mike Brooks and Six Others. Okay, it's an anthology, so there's a specific author of, I guess, the opening story, but I'm not going to sure if we know which one it will be. But either way, let's jump on in here. Yo, I really love this cover. It's a sick cover. It's got like depth and I can't say this word. Dynamicism? I can never say it. I think you know what word I'm trying to get, though. All right. Let's jump on in. Oh, here we go. I guess it'll be the first story. So the Wraithbone Phoenix? Wait, no. That might be other books. Yeah, I'm not sure. There we go. Is this the beginning of the prose? I guess so. Alright, Chains by Jonathan D. Beer. So I suppose that's the author of this particular installment of the anthology. Rakov, I think is the name. Rakov? We're going to go with Rakov. Sounds cooler. Rakov looms over her, impassively watching her struggle as the gas fills her narrow prison. Oh boy, that's an opening line, huh? It is not pride that drives her to fight, because she has never known the luxury of pride, the privilege of dignity. Nor is she trying to free herself. She's learned that the tough synthweave cuffs are beyond her malnourished strength. And a part of her welcomes the relief the gas brings. The shrieking cacophony of other people's thoughts only abates when her gaoler, I think it's like another word for jailer, right? When her gaoler renders her unconscious. She fights just as hard when they wake her, fingers scraping at the transparent interior of her coffin cage in a desperate attempt to claw her way back to the peace of narcotic-induced slumber. Boy, this is coming hot, heavy, and dark right off the bat with this, man. These are ominous sentences. No, she fights as a chained animal fights, and for the same reason. Her limbs thrash against the bonds that encircle her wrists and ankles, that press tight against her chest and forehead. She spits and hisses, screaming the curses she's learnt, as a vagrant thief of Varangantua's pitiless streets. She even tries to lash out with her witch sense, imagining her body's pain as a dagger that she hurls at Rakov's inscrutable form. But she has never really controlled the power that afflicts her, and if her mind's blade lands, he shows no sign of feeling it. The agony collar bites, its barbs flooding her veins with punishment for her pointless resistance. Her body arcs, muscles locked with pain, tears streaming from her eyes. Finally, she slumps against the coffin's bare steel, though the collar continues to scourge her. Okay, I have thoughts. Warhammer is definitely a grim, dark universe. I believe it's actually where the term comes from. In the grim, dark, the distant future, there is only war, I believe is the famous quote. Also, fully tracks with a dramatic but ominous cover. Too dark for my taste right off the bat. And I would like to see a bit more of a hook in this. Because you kind of sold us right on the idea of someone struggling against their bonds. We're picking up some sort of like psychic affliction, some sort of unrealized power that perhaps torments them, and they're trying to run away with it through the what was it, like chemical induced slumber they called it, something like that, narcotic induced slumber. Very dramatic descriptions, very dark, very grim, appropriate. But like I said, I'd like a little bit of a hook earlier on to kind of make me ask a few more questions. But I also recognize I am not a reader of Warhammer for a reason. It's not necessarily to my taste. Oh great, I get a new puzzle from TikTok to prove that I am not inactive. Every day I stream, TikTok thinks I am inactive. Alright, puzzle solved. Let's get back to this. Homebrew, or Get Off My Lawn Guy, you said the book is why she is in the box and what she's capable of. And Homebrew, you said it really instills hopelessness. Yes, it does. I do feel that hopelessness. So it's hitting right on the mark for a Warhammer story. I do want to know more about this Rakov guy. I don't know who he is, but he seems cool. Kind of want to know more about him. I need him to do more than just stand there and watch, right? I imagine he will. But we don't see it in these opening lines. Nonetheless, interesting. A little bit too dark for my taste, but that's just my taste. Love the cover. I would probably still read more. I want to know. I want to know more what's going on. So thank you for suggesting it. Appreciate it. Was that the... Yeah, okay. So there we go. That was Once a Killer off the list. Oh, Uglies, take that off the list. Ari Youngest, you said Raptor Red is your favorite by Robert T. Backer. Alrighty. We'll add it to the list. Alright. Y'all, shall we do another one? Thank you for the follows, by the way. I appreciate all the follows today. Thank you very much, guys. And the gifts, sorry, Tom N. I didn't thank you for the heart me. Thank you, my friend. And other name wasn't available. You as well. Thank you very much, y'all. You're too kind. All right. Let's see. Let's grab another one here. All right. Let's do a little vote on this one. I think I can do polls through TikTok, right? I think that was a thing that I saw. Let's give that a try, y'all. I swear that I had read there was a way to do polls. It's not obvious to me. No polls on Studio. Oh, so maybe I gotta do it on my phone to do it. That would make sense. All right, well, we'll just do it in chat. Oh, can mods add polls? Can y'all confirm if there's any? I know there's a couple of my mods here. Can you confirm if you can add a poll? But we don't have to make it official. Let's do. Oh, y'all. I got a good pit here. Melissa, you can. All right, Melissa, would you try setting this up for me then? Can we do a vote between Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters or the Song of Achilles? Pit Greek mythology against Greek mythology. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. I don't know why I'm not able to do it. Maybe because I'm not on my phone, probably. It's not all, TikTok Studio doesn't have all the features necessarily. But yeah, if you could just set up a quick poll between those two, I think that'd be fun. We'll do them both anyway, but we'll see which one we do first, right? Oh, thank you for the follow, Phoenix. I appreciate you. All right, there's Song of Achilles, and then Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Is that like book 2, I think? Yeah, book 2. There we go, digging into my YA memory banks. Yeah, Jack and I also have fond memories of Percy Jackson back in the day. Read the heck out of that series. All right. Let us know when the poll is running, Melissa. I don't see anything on my end, but maybe that's because it's not running yet. I don't know. We're figuring it out, y'all. We're doing new stuff. But in the meantime, here's a cover of the Song of Achilles. Yeah, I imagine the Song of Achilles is sad because so is Achilles' life. If you're familiar with the myth, he chose a brief life with glory versus a long life of insignificance. All right, and then Percy Jackson got a good-looking cover here. Y'all, this steamship stays in my memory so well. This like Civil War Ironside. I had not ever heard about this. I've never even heard about a ship like this until this book series. It was very cool to me. Wouldn't glory equate significance? Yeah, that was the choice, Jack Ann. It was a brief life full of glory. We can do a 60-second timer, Melissa. Thank you very much. It was a brief life of glory or a long life of insignificance. And he chose glory. Very Greek decision. Very Greek hero decision. And we're still saying his name all this time later. Hey, thank you. There's the poll. Thank you, Melissa. Y'all go ahead and vote. Oh, it looks like I can see the votes here as they come in. Excellent, so I can monitor it. Y'all vote for which one you want to do. A Song of Achilles or Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Phoenix, you've read all of Rick Riordan. Rock on. He's a good author, man. He writes quick, writes good stuff. I'm a fan. All right, Percy Jackson out to an early lead, but Song of Achilles is right behind it. Jack, and you've got gremlins wrestling right beside you. You're all good. Oh, Melissa, you can't vote because you made it? I don't think I can vote either. Sorry, Melissa, your vote was stolen, but thank you for making the poll. I appreciate you. It's weird that I can't do it. 5 seconds left, y'all, and the vote is tied. Cast your vote if you haven't for which one we're doing next. Oh, and there it goes. Tied with 4 and 4. All right, well, then I think there's only one way to solve this. Melissa, where's your vote going? You made the poll for us. So you get to be the tiebreaker. Percy Jackson, she says. All right. Interesting. Now, I have an option to start a new poll in here. So I feel like in future, I should be able to do it. It was asking me to do it here. I'll have to look at that after stream. See if I can figure it out. But, Melissa, breaking the tie with Percy Jackson. So let's get to it. Well done, Melissa. Thank you for running that. Tide and Terry, you didn't miss anything except we did our first poll, voting between Percy Jackson or A Song of Achilles, and Melissa, with the tie-breaking vote, chooses Percy Jackson. Oh, wait, this is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I'm looking for... Oh, is this like an anthology? Because this does say, in the Olympians, Book 2, Sea of Monsters. Okay, no, we're good, we're good. Thank you for setting it up, Melissa. I appreciate you. All right, Sea of Monsters. Let's do it. My best friend shops for a wedding dress. Chapter 1. My nightmare started like this. I was standing on a deserted street in some little beach town. It was the middle of the night. A storm was blowing. Wind and rain ripped at the palm trees along the sidewalk. Pink and yellow stucco buildings lined the street, their windows boarded up. A block away, past a line of hibiscus bushes, the ocean churned. Florida, I thought. Though I wasn't sure how I knew that. I'd never been to Florida. Well, Percy, those lines scream Miami. I feel like everybody knows that screams Miami, which is what they want. The pink and yellow stucco buildings is a dead giveaway for Miami, though. Love it. Then I heard hooves clattering against the pavement. I turned and saw my friend Grover running for his life. Yeah, I said hooves. Grover is a satyr. From the waist up, he looks like a typical gangly teenager, with a peach fuzz goatee and a bad case of acne. He walks with a strange limp, but unless you happen to catch him without his pants on, which I don't recommend, you'd never know there was anything unhuman about him. Baggy jeans and fake feet hide the fact that he's got furry hindquarters and hooves. Grover had been my best friend in 6th grade. He'd gone on this adventure with me and a girl named Annabeth to save the world. But I hadn't seen him since last July when he set off alone on a dangerous quest. A quest no satyr had ever returned from. Anyway, in my dream, Grover was hauling goat tail. That's a fun description. Holding his human shoes in his hand the way he does when he needs to move fast. He clopped past the little tourist shops and surfboard rental places. The wind bent the palm trees almost to the ground. Grover was terrified of something behind him. He must have just come from the beach. Wet sand was caked in his fur. He'd escaped from somewhere. He was trying to get away from something. A bone-rattling growl cut through the storm. Behind Grover at the far end of the block, a shadowy figure loomed. It swatted aside a street lamp, which burst in a shower of sparks. Okay, sick imagery, right? Sick imagery right off the bat. I like it. I dig it. Let's go through it. So this is interesting. What immediately stands out to me in this one is this is a book 2, right? And when you're writing a book 2, you assume that your audience has read book 1. That's a safe assumption. Sometimes authors like to give a little recap of what happened in book 1 to help people remember. This is kind of somewhere between that and not giving a recap at all, because like it starts with the idea of like, this is what my nightmare was like. There's your hook, right? It hooks you in with that concept of this is my nightmare. But it's interesting to me that it goes into explaining like Grover is a satyr. I went on an adventure with him and this girl named Annabeth to save the world. Like we know that as readers. We've read book 1. So it's really interesting. I wonder why the author chose to start book 2 with a recap like that. It's an interesting question. I don't have an answer to it. I wish I could ask Rick himself. Jack Ann, you said there's something comforting about a book with simple prose, good writing, and a nostalgia factor. Full agree. Full agree. I was feeling it while I was reading this. Simple prose, good descriptions, bringing that nostalgia factor, man. That's a powerful combo. What also stood out to me in these opening lines is a very powerful sense of place. Perhaps that's because I'm from Florida, so this resonates with me. The whole, like, rain-whipped palm trees, the pink and yellow stucco-sided buildings, like, that all just vibes with where I'm from. Or perhaps it's just really good descriptions on the author's part, right? There's a reason this series is so successful. I guess if we look at this opening, I like the hook of, like, this is my nightmare. I'm not a fan of the, like, re-explaining what happened in book one, but it's for a young audience. Perhaps the summary is necessary. And then I really like, and I wish it had gotten to it faster, the imagery of whatever is chasing Grover. I love the, where was it? At the far end of the block, a shadowy figure loomed. It swatted aside a street lamp, which burst in a shower of sparks. I really like that. That's good imagery, and I almost wish that had come in sooner. Is this middle grade or YA, you ask? I guess it is probably middle grade more than YA. I think it's like, instead of leaning like between YA and adult, it definitely leans between middle grade and YA, I would say. It's always hard to judge because the individual reading level of the kid is really what determines it. I'm not sure where it would officially be categorized. I always think it was, I always thought it was YA, but I think it does kind of lean down into middle grade a bit. But yeah, no, it's a good opening, and honestly, it kind of makes me want to go back and reread the books, like as if I have time for that. I have a massive to-be-read pile already. But yeah, I kind of wish I had time to go back and read it. Thank you for suggesting this. This was from Rio and Archie on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed our analysis. Tara, I do take books from other authors. This is any book that's on Amazon that's got a sample that I can read. We will do it. I mean, as long as it's not going to, have content right off the bat that gets my stream banned or something. So please, none of that. All right, and now we'll do Song of Achilles, and then probably one more after that, and then we'll call it a good day. But let's do Song of Achilles. Google search says Percy Jackson is middle grade. I could believe it. I think you could classify it as either or, and it would be fine. No 50 Shades of Grey, asks Melissa. I mean, look, if someone wants to suggest it, I will read it. I might not be happy about it, but I don't know. It's been a long time since I've never read the book, and it's been a long time since I've read the opening to it, so I don't know. All right, Song of Achilles. This one, what I know of this off the bat, I've not read it. I've read the opening, but I've not read the full book. Very more of like a literary type work. Love story. A lot of like longing and not being able to be together, but wanting to. Told through the lens of Achilles and Pericles, is it? I'm blanking on the name at the moment, but we'll skip my bad description of it and instead just read the opening lines. I know this won a lot of awards when it came out. It had a lot of buzz. A little more on the literary fiction side of commercial fiction versus literary fiction. Phoenix, I would totally read a Chuck Tingle book on here. Patroclus, thank you, or Patrocles. Sometimes the spelling varies depending on what culture, Roman or Greek, is saying it. Phoenix, I would totally read Chuck Tingle. I respect Chuck. My man has got a lane, and he owns it, and he's funny, and his titles catch your attention. You can say that for it, right? And he's serious about it, right? He writes silly books, but he writes silly books seriously. I respect Chuck. All right, Chapter 1 of the Song of Achilles. My father was a king and the son of kings. He was a short man, as most of us were, and built like a bull, all shoulders. He married my mother when she was 14 and sworn by the priestesses to be fruitful. It was a good match. She was an only child, and her father's fortune would go to her husband. He did not find out until the wedding that she was simple. Her father had been scrupulous about keeping her veiled until the ceremony, and my father had humored him. If she was ugly, there were always slave girls and serving boys. When at last they pulled off the veil, they say my mother smiled. That is how they knew she was quite stupid. Brides did not smile. Oof, what a line, man. That hurts. When I was delivered, a boy, he plucked me from her arms and handed me to a nurse. In pity, the midwife gave my mother a pillow to hold instead of me. My mother hugged it. She did not seem to notice a change had been made. Quickly, I became a disappointment. Small, slight. I was not fast. I was not strong. I could not sing. The best that could be said of me was that I was not sickly. The colds and cramps that seized my peers left me untouched. This only made my father suspicious. Was I a changeling? Inhuman? He scowled at me, watching my hand. My hand shook, feeling his gaze. And there was my mother, dribbling wine on herself. What a brutal opening, y'all. That just hurts. That just hurts as an opening. I am 5 when it is my father's turn to host the games. Men gather from as far as Thessaly and Sparta, and our storehouses grow rich with their gold. 100 servants work for 20 days, beating out the racing track and clearing it of stones. My father is determined to have the finest games of his generation. I remember the runners best, nut-brown bodies slicked with oil, stretching on the track beneath the sun. They mixed together, broad-shouldered husbands, beardless youths and boys, their calves all thickly carved with muscle. The bull has been killed, sweating the last of its blood into the dust in dark bronze bowls. It went quietly to its death, a good omen for the games to come. All right, this sets a tone. Yeah, I agree, Jackann. This sets a tone and an expectation right off the bat with the language. I know there's a lot of beautiful language in there. I've read further on in this, and I remember getting to like some really beautiful prose. I don't think we quite saw it in this opening, but it does set up one of our main characters quite well. Makes me feel really bad for him, dude. What a brutal start, right? But it immediately puts you in the moment and kind of establishes the expectation of the story. The one thing I'm kind of missing here is I don't see an immediate strong hook, but like I said, this one leans a little bit between literary fiction and like commercial fiction. And if you're not aware, commercial fiction is books that are meant to sell and entertain. Literary fiction is a little more high-minded. It might have a goal beyond just entertaining. They're different but similar genres, and this one kind of leans between the two of them. And I think in literary fiction, it's a little more acceptable to not have a very marketable hook right in your opening lines. It's almost expected that they might take a little bit longer to get going. I'm no expert in literary fiction. Perhaps I'm absolutely full of crap on that, but that is my understanding of it, and I think that might explain why this book starts like this. Nikki, you had to stare at the wall for a bit when you finished this. Oof. That hurts. I know this isn't a happy story. But all right, let's see. I want to see if there is a hook in here, though. There kind of is. It's just not the strongest hook. It definitely takes a bit longer to develop, but I think that's kind of what you should expect from this book. It is informing you what kind of book it is, right? It's not happy, and it's not going to move particularly quick. It's going to take its time to get there. Phoenix, you say you'll always prefer genre fiction? I will too, my friend. Genre fiction, popcorn fiction as I like to call it, that's where I live. That's my happy place. Yeah, Jackann, literary fiction, literary fantasy? Huh, not literary fiction. Oh, you just discovered it's a subgenre? I've not heard of literary fantasy, but I guess that kind of makes sense. I'm more aware of literary fiction. Maybe there's something different, though. I think you're right, Nikki. Nikki said, I think you have to already have an idea on the book before deciding to read it. It's kind of one of those that you learn a bit about it from people talking about it and go, ooh, I'm interested in that, and then dive into it. I think that makes sense. It's a good way to start with it. Phoenix, you started with pulp novels and mythology books. There you go, buddy. Man, I love a good pulp novel. Ain't nothing wrong with a quick, entertaining story. All right, y'all, let's do one more book for the day. Let me see. Bear with me 1 minute. I'm going to see if I can start a poll here, because I would love to give a big old poll in it. Well, 4 options on it, and y'all vote on what the last book of the day is going to be. But come on now. There's got to be a way to do this in here. I know that there is. It was weird that it like asked me if I wanted to start another one. But I just don't see a way to do it. Maybe I start it from my chat window. Bear with me 1 second. No, I don't really see a way to do it, y'all. It's so strange. I must be missing it. I must just be missing it somewhere. Thank you for the follow there, Author Lindholm. What do you write, my friend? To start a poll, you hit share and then settings. And that's probably on the phone, right? Not on studio. But thank you, Melissa. Let's see if we can find something like that. Highlight, record, mobile preview, sound effects, the tools. Hey, hold on, we're getting somewhere. Let's go. We got it, folks. We'll do a quick poll. I can set it up now. We're gonna do a 1-minute poll here. Hey, congrats, author. Tell us, Arthur Lindholm. Tell us about the book for a second while I set this up. Oh, it's only going to let me do 2 options for a quick poll, so we'll do a custom poll then. All right, standard. We're going to do it for, boy, is 3 minutes really what I have to do? Let me set a quicker duration than that. Create new. Yeah, I guess it has to be like 3 minutes. All right, well, we're going to do a 3-minute timer on this bad boy. Because if I do a quick poll, it can only be 2 options, and I want to give you more than that. So let's create a new poll real quick. Add an option. Y'all, we got a few books left on the list. This poll is going to get most of them. So we're going to put on the list. Number 1 is going to be The Face on the Milk Carton. Oh, wow, I don't have enough characters for that. Let's see if I delete the, we can probably fit it in there. There we go. Face on the Milk Carton. Firestorm. Stolen Tongues. And Raptor Red. There we go. All right. Save and start. There it is, folks. The poll lives. All right. Thank you for bearing with me for that one. We're kind of figuring it out. We're doing new things here. All right. I'll keep an eye on the votes. I see we got 1 vote for Firestorm. Let's see. What did I miss in chat here? Arthur. I'm saying author so much today that when I see Arthur's name, I want to say Author Lindholm, not Arthur Lindholm. You wrote your first book, comes out in October, and then I asked you about it. You said Johnny Marrs, Murder on the Little Mermaid, is a murder mystery on a space station around Jupiter. That's fun. That sounds very fun. Congrats, my friend. I hope it does well. Thank you for shouting it out. And then Tara, what was your book? I know that you mentioned it earlier. Concept is cool, so you must have mentioned something about it because someone else replied to it. Come on. Dementia by Tara Hansen. All right, rock on, y'all. Please do come back in a future stream and mention those again, and we can read those. We had a good list of books today. We actually got through almost all of them, so that's going to be a first for us today, folks. But 1 minute 40 seconds left in your poll. As it stands currently, we have 1 vote for Face on the Milk Carton, 4 votes for Firestorm, no votes for Stolen Tongues, and 1 vote for Raptor Red. 1 minute 30 left. Get those votes in, and we will end the stream by reading whichever book is the winner here. And based on how the votes are going at the moment, Firestorm picking up a 5th vote, we're going to go ahead and type that one in here and get it queued up. But who knows? Let's see how it goes. There's our cover. There's our sample. Vote check-in. Raptor Red picking up another vote. Courts, yes, we are wrapping up after this last book. Sorry to do that right as you're joining. We normally run from 7 a.m. to about 8:15-ish a.m. Central Time. But as always on my YouTube page, all of the streams are recorded there, and you can go watch them back. So if you want to see the last hour and 30 minutes of fun we've had here, please do go check it out. All right, 30 seconds left in our poll. Face on the Milk Carton with 1 vote, Firestorm with 5, Stolen Tongues with 0, and Raptor Red with 2. If you want to have a say in the last book we read today, folks, go ahead and get that vote in. Oh, thank you, Tide and Terra. To vote, click the blue clipboard at the top under my profile pic. Thank you for that. Oh, that's the wrong Firestorm book? Interesting, interesting. Thank you for calling that out. By David Class, I think you said? David Class. Okay. Cool looking cover. I think, let's see the final results, but I'm pretty sure Firestorm was going to take that win based on where things stood. Let's see. Yes, Firestorm winning. Raptor Red made a last-minute comeback, but it wasn't enough. Fell 2 votes short. All right, chat has spoken. Firestorm it will be. I knew none of these books, so they were all equal in my eyes. I like this cover. This has got some like classic like boys' adventure vibes to it. Feels like a pulp novel out of like the 60s or something. I'm interested. Let's see what we got here. Cool cover or cool font. I always love when there's a different font on the interior like this. Maybe I need to do that. Okay, interesting. They've put it in there so many times. Come on, where's the story? There it is, chapter 1. To wrong guy, you said you're good, you're live. I have a question for you. What are your thoughts on speech to text? What do you mean? Speech to text in what context? Like I will use it sometimes. I'll have like Google has a plugin that I got like years ago that just will read your text. Sometimes I'll have it read my writing back to me if I want to hear it aloud, particularly for dialogue. Is that what you're kind of talking about? But in the meantime, while we await that answer, let's read Chapter 1 of Firestorm, or at least the opening lines of Chapter 1 of Firestorm, Book 1 of the Caretaker Trilogy by David Class. Halloween week in Hadley by Hudson. Senior year of high school. 9 in the evening. Had enough sentence fragments? My English teacher said they are a weakness of mine, but I still like them. They generate pace. You want pace? I'll give you pace. You want weird? Stick around, my friend. An atypical opening, but I find myself liking it. The air pinching colder. Winter coming on fast, winding up to clobber us. A month from now it will be bitter, bitter, and you can feel the coming chill in the north wind. You can smell it in the rust and smoke of the colored leaves. Stock up on the Kleenex. Nostril clogging chill. Wind the scarves tight. Get out last winter's mittens. Halloween decorations going up on doors and windows. Black cats crouching. Witches soaring on broomsticks. This is going to get weird fast, but not the way you think. I'm loving this opening. Here's what I thought. I thought I was living in the most normal little town in America, having the most normal senior year a guy could have. First name, Jack. How's that for normal? Last name, Danielson. Pretty standard stuff, huh? Occupation, high school senior. Hobbies, chicks, flicks, and fast cars. Roughly in that order. Oh, and I left out sports. Very important. When you're a guy in a town like Hadley with a tough public high school, it helps to be a jock. So I'm lucky that way. 6'2", muscles, starting running back on the football team, straw-colored hair, piercing blue eyes, and above-average brain power, except when I do something really stupid. Did I mention a winning smile? I like the ego of this guy. Winning smile is often directed at one P.J. Peters. The P could have been for pretty, as they come, or pert, or, I don't even know this word, perspicacious? Look at that. Look that one up in the dictionary, my friend. Sometimes pretentious, always pleasing. The J could have been for jousting, because we're always testing each other. Or joker. No one could make me laugh like PJ. Or jubilant, when she accomplished something really important. What an interesting opening, y'all. Leisha, good morning. Good to see you. You've joined us for the last book of the day, and a very interesting opening at that. This is interesting. I've not really read an opening like this. I appreciate the authorial voice coming through. Just kind of leaning into it, man. The author it feels like the main character is just straight talking to me, and I'm kind of vibing with it. I like the feel of it. Wrong guy, you said I'm facing writer's block. I'll just start narrating the story out loud and have the PC type for me. Oh, yeah, man, totally. Definitely. If that helps you get through the writer's block, rock on. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of authors write through dictation. Maybe not a lot, but I know one or two who do, and I have heard that others do. Hey, man, if it gets you through the writer's block, rock on. Nothing wrong with it. Y'all, let's look at this opening. This is so fascinating. The hook in this one is really interesting. There's not even necessarily a traditional hook in this. It's almost the hook is more the personality of the narrator coming through. Like, listen to how this opening paragraph goes. Halloween week in Hadley by Hudson. Senior year of high school. 9 in the evening. Had enough sentence fragments? My English teacher said they're a weakness of mine. But I still like them. They generate pace. You want pace? I'll give you pace. You want weird? Stick around, my friend. I guess actually that's the hook right there. The promise of it's going to get weird. Not the strongest hook, but yeah, see, Jack Ann, you just typed exactly what I was going to say. The hook is the narrator and the connection between them and the reader. 100%. They're hooking you on voice in this. This is how I say, guys, I always say the most unique thing that you can have as an author, as a creative, is your voice. The way you see the world, the way you describe it, the way you put it into words. That's super unique. That's yours individually. This is what the author's relying on here. They're leaning into their authorial voice, and it's really cool to see. I love the second paragraph. The air pinching colder. Winter coming on fast, winding up to clobber us. A month from now it'll be bitter, bitter, and you can feel the coming chill in the north wind. You can smell it in the rust and smoke of the colored leaves. Stock up on the Kleenex. Nostril clogging chill. Wind the scarves tight. Get out last winter's mittens. Halloween decorations going up on doors and windows. Black cats crouching. Witches soaring on broomsticks. This is going to get weird fast and not the way you think. I totally love it. This is awesome. Of all the books I've read today, this is the one I'm most considering, like actually adding to the TBR pile, which is a big consideration because I have way too many books there as it stands. But I'm just simply intrigued. I've not seen a book in a long time that opens like this, and it's got me intrigued. So you could say the hook was very effective. It wasn't a traditional hook, but it caught my attention, and now I'm interested. So I will look further into it. Thank you very much for that suggestion. Whose was it? Was This Email Never Works? Was that your suggestion? I forget who suggested this one, but thank you for doing so. That was a very interesting one to end on. Yeah, there we go. All right, so rock on. So we got it there. It was yours. That was fun, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the books we went through today. If we didn't get to yours, I apologize. Please do mention it on the next Wednesday stream, and we will try to get to it. The people that are here first get their books on the list earliest, so there's a benefit to that. I try to get the books that sit there for a minute, so we go through the list. I think this works better than rolling dice for it, though the dice might be a little more fair. But I feel bad when someone someone gets a book in there really early and then we go all stream without picking it. But yes, Ari, it was nice to meet you as too. Thank you for joining in. A pleasure to have you. And hold on, I missed your gift. Thank you for sending the Tiny Diny. We have a tradition around here. If you give a gift, you get a gift. So, this one's for you. Little goblin for you in exchange for a Tiny Diny. That seems pretty fair, huh? Thank you very much, my friend. Yes, Leisha, I thank you for that reminder. Y'all, if you had fun hanging out with this community and you want to do it outside of the stream, well, there's our Discord link. You can also grab it from the link in my bio if you want. But come hang out with us on Discord. We got a great community there, and we'd love to have you as a part of it. Folks, if you don't know, I am author Alex Knight. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 a.m. or at 7 a.m. Central Time. Mondays, we do author Q&A. I'm just taking your questions about books, writing, publishing, all that fun stuff. Wednesdays, I ask you to come with your favorite book in mind, and we will read its opening lines and dissect it from an author's POV. Fridays, we do Fantasy Map Friday. Always a fun one. We make fantasy maps live on stream. We just started a new one last Friday. I'm so pumped about it. It's awesome start to the map. Cannot wait to work on it more. That'll be this Friday. Slight side note about that, y'all. I am driving my wife to the airport at 6:45 a.m. on Friday. So the stream on Friday, and I'll post this in Discord, the stream on Friday is going to be delayed. Probably kicking off around 9 a.m. Central Time, but I will let y'all know in Discord. I got an hour drive to the airport, then an hour drive back, and then we'll pop on stream. because this map's awesome and we can't miss it. I cannot wait to work on it more. So just, we can all sleep in a little bit on Friday for the stream. I mean, I won't. I'll be driving to and from the airport. But everybody else, you can come in a little later if you want. But folks, as I always say, I am a full-time author. So these streams and my books, they are what support me. If you would like to support me in the stream, please do. Check out the books. They're all linked in my bio. They're all on Amazon as audiobooks, ebooks, paperbacks, Kindle Unlimited, whatever format you want, they're there. These are a lot of them. But the newest one is right here, Wriggly Little Hands. It is a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord, but, well, they're goblins, so they mess things up. Get distracted, go on side quests, maybe ruin the quest for everybody involved. Who knows? I do, but if you haven't read the book, you don't. So, give it a look. I'd appreciate it. It's very silly, very Terry Pratchett-esque. And also, a special shout out to The Far Wild, which we read the opening of on stream today. Thank you for recommending it, chat. I appreciate you. Always like reading my own books. I can be a little bit biased sometimes, Another one of mine, if you want to grab it, please do. But everybody, enough about me. Thank you very much for being here. It has been a pleasure to have you. If you've enjoyed today's stream, please give me a follow so I can catch you on the next one. I cannot wait to be back on Friday. But as always, a special thanks to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com for the use of his songs, Farm, Manor, Cottages, and Northern Glade, which have provided today's background music. A special thanks as well to community member Raffi the Engineer, who made our 5th background song, Midnight at the Round Table. Y'all, Raffi made this just for stream. Raffi, you rock, my guy. Thank you. Of course, I would be remiss if I did not thank my wonderful moderators, Melissa Lee 28, Raffi the Engineer, One Happy Harpy, Simp1X, other name wasn't available, aka Slindy, Leisha T, and Aaron Winnick. Specifically today, shout out to Melissa for figuring out the poll. I appreciate that very much. But thank you to all of my mods who keep the vibes up, keep the good times flowing. I really appreciate y'all. Folks, thank you for being with me here today. I had fun. I hope you did. I hope we learned a little something about books. We read some good ones. Some fun books today. I cannot wait to see you on Friday for Fantasy Map Friday. Let's pull up the map real quick. A little teaser of what we did on Friday. Let's see if this is going to work. I might need to click in here and tell it to look at Incarnate. There we go. It's a little bit off center. That's alright, we fix. Y'all, here's the map we started on Friday. We did this in one session. Got the whole world mapped out, and now we're going to add some more detail. So come back in Friday at maybe like 9 a.m. Central Time is what I'm thinking. I'll keep updates in Discord about it. But this is what we're going to be doing. We're continuing this map, putting some deserts in, some biomes, all that fun stuff. But folks, thank you for being here. I will see you back on Friday for a map stream. And until then, have a wonderful time. It was a pleasure hanging out with you. Be excellent to each other, and I will see y'all then. Peace out, folks.